it's me, Talia, with the same outfit and hopefully the same frame as the last video because I think I did an okay job. But maybe I didn't, so maybe, I guess who knows. I really don't know what I'm doing at all. But here is my wrap up for the rest of January because today's the last day of the month, so I better tell y'all what I've been reading. Okay. So, the next thing I read this month was There Are No Bears in This Bakery, cover by Julia Sarcone Roach. This book is a picture book. It is full of the most delightful illustrations. It's about a cat named Mittens, I hope, who watches over a bakery at night. He is the night shift, and he knows all the sounds of all the little things that go on around the bakery. So he hears the raccoons like scavenging in the trash in the alley outside, and he knows about the bats flying in the sky, but he knows that there are no bears in this bakery except when there gets to be a bear in the bakery. And the illustrations are so cute, and it's just the sweetest picture book. It just came out, and I really recommend it. I gave it 4 stars, I think. But yes, definitely pick it up. It's so sweet. Next book I read was a board book called Wiggles by Claire Zucchelli-Romer. This is a touch, think, learn board book, which means that it is die cut to have texture. And basically the concept of the book is there are all these shapes, and it tells you which hand and which finger to use, and you tap, tap, tap in place, and hop, hop, hop. You go on these little slides with your fingers, and you do circles with your fingers, and you do spirals with your fingers, and it's actually so much fun, and I totally get the appeal of like a tactile book like this, especially for little kids, but also for me. I was into it. Then next, I read My Heart by Corinna Luyken, which is also a picture book. That also just came out. My coworker Zach and I both read it. It's so sweet, perfect for Valentine's Day. It's very poetic about sharing your heart. Sometimes your heart hurts, and that's okay. And I don't know, it's just really, the illustrations are mostly in black and white and yellow, which is cool, and I really quite enjoyed it. So I would probably give that one 4 stars also. Wow, lots of 4 stars. Okay, then to break it up, the next thing I read was Sarah MacLean's The Rogue Not Taken. I go from pure childhood to Bodice Rubber romance. This is, what is this even said? I don't know, aristocratic London of some time period. Is this Regency? Probably. Basically, it's about Sophie Talbot, who is the youngest sister in this family of sisters who are all up to scandalous acts. So they're always in the newspapers. They're called the Soiled S's. I don't remember. Because their first names all start with S. And Sophie feels that she is, compared to her sister, she's boring. She doesn't want to be in the newspapers. They're all trying to cause drama all the time, but she doesn't want to be. She doesn't even want to be in London. She hates the drama. She wants to go back to her small town home, and basically she gets in this incident at a public event. She feels like she can never show her face in society, so she's trying to get out. There's the hero. She meets the hero. They have like a weird interaction where she's like, "Help me, get me home, take me home," and he's like, "No, I don't care. You're none of my responsibility." And then he just leaves, and it's like, yeah, she wasn't your responsibility. So, yeah, that's like fair for you to say. He's basically a rogue who is known for like ruining women, and Sophie ends up stowed away in his carriage dressed as a man because she thinks he's going past her house, but really he's going to deliver some news to his father, dying father, who lives, days travel away, and they end up in close quarters with lots of time to spend together, and they start to like each other, although they won't admit it. I actually didn't even really finish this book. I probably read the first 300 pages, and then I was like, because it got to a point where the only thing that was keeping them apart was that they just weren't talking to each other and communicating at all. It got too far-fetched. I was like, when there were obstacles in their way, I was like, yeah, I believe that. But when it got to that point, it took a turn, and I was like, no, I'm not in it anymore. I don't care. And then there were still 100 pages left, and I just didn't care to know what happened. I mean, I figured they end up together, but didn't really want to know how. But I do like this picture quite a bit. But I'll be reading more romance this month because it is February and Valentine's Day, and at my job we're doing a romance display, and we're trying to bring more traditional mass market paperback romance into the store because we don't have that much. So I'm going to be reading a few romance novels to just see what clicks, and hopefully I'll like something and can write some recommendations for the store. Then the next thing I read was Seanan McGuire's Every Hearted Doorway, which I had from a really old Tor.com book of the month giveaway on my Kindle, and I loved it. 5 stars, 100% 5 stars. It's set at a school for children, mostly girls, who have gone through doors to other worlds and been basically rejected for whatever reason, kicked back out into the real world, and they miss their fantasy worlds, and they wish they could go back, and they're just waiting and waiting and waiting for a door to open up. But in the meantime, they can't fit in. They don't want to be in the real world, and this school has basically been open to take them in, help them figure out how to adapt to the real world in a place that understands what they've been through. And it's incredible. It's very dark. So I definitely wouldn't recommend it if you don't like a little bit of violence, because it is a little bit gory, maybe at times, but it's exceptional, so good. And there are 3 more companion novels, and also it was the first Seanan McGuire book I read, and I was very impressed. And I know she's written a lengthy urban fantasy series, so have to pick that up as well. And then finally, last thing I read was this book, which was actually something that one of my New Year's Eve party guests told me to read. So check 1 off the list. I have 20 something, and this month I read 1, but that's fine. This is Sherlock, Lupin and Me, #1, The Dark Lady by Irene Adler, who's the main character, but really it's by Alessandro Gatti, written in Italian, translated by Chris Turner. And honestly, I don't know if it's the writing, if it's the translation. There's something off for me. I liked the mystery fine, but I didn't really like. It's narrated by Irene Adler, and it's basically about Irene and Sherlock and their friend Lupin as young teens. They're spending the summer in Saint-Malo in France, and a body washes up on the shore, and they take it upon themselves to solve this case. It's fine. I just didn't really feel like they worked as teen characters. I didn't believe it. So I ended up giving this one 2 stars. It was fine. I read it in a couple hours. It's short. But check 1 off the list for the New Year's stuff. So, yeah. So that's what I've read in January. And I will see y'all again soon when I start reading stuff in February.